This Toyota camper looks tiny on the outside, but inside, it feels like a luxury apartment on wheels. Hidden in this compact RV is a futuristic interior, a smart kitchen, a full bedroom setup, and features you'd never expect in something this small. And wait until you find out how much this tiny luxury RV actually costs. Starting with the exterior, this Toyota camper immediately feels different from a traditional RV. Most compact campers look like oversized boxes sitting on top of a truck chassis, but this setup feels modern, aggressive, and surprisingly futuristic. The sharp front grille, sleek LED lighting, black wheels, and aerodynamic body lines make it look more like a luxury concept vehicle than a compact motorhome. And somehow, this entire setup is only around 21 to 24 feet long. That's smaller than many traditional RVs. Yet, despite the compact size, it still manages to feel practical enough for real travel and comfortable enough for long adventures. The estimated dimensions are surprisingly balanced. Around 21 to 24 feet long, roughly 8 feet wide, close to 10 feet tall, and with around 9 to 11 inches of ground clearance. And honestly, this might be the sweet spot for modern RV living. Small enough for city streets, large enough to actually live inside comfortably. Now look closely at the side profile, because this is where the design gets really smart. The smooth body lines, over-cab sleeping section, and aerodynamic roof design help the camper feel sleek instead of bulky. And somehow, storage compartments are hidden almost everywhere, without ruining the clean exterior styling. That means room for camping gear, batteries, water systems, electrical hookups, and travel essentials while still maintaining a premium appearance. And then you notice the stance. This thing doesn't sit like a normal RV. The aggressive tires, black wheels, and slightly lifted ride height make it feel ready for mountain roads, coastal highways, desert landscapes, or long off-grid adventures. And honestly, imagine pulling into a campsite with this thing at sunset. People would probably stop and stare, because this doesn't feel like a traditional camper anymore. It feels like the future of compact luxury travel. Now, before stepping inside, take a look at the roof. You can immediately spot the solar panels mounted on top, which means this camper is clearly designed with off-grid living in mind. And suddenly, this stops feeling like just another RV. It starts feeling like a tiny luxury apartment that can travel almost anywhere. But none of that prepares you for what happens once the door opens. Because the second you step inside, the entire atmosphere changes. This is the moment where the tiny camper completely stops feeling tiny. Instead of outdated beige interiors and cheap plastic finishes, this Toyota RV feels modern, futuristic, and shockingly premium. Ambient lighting wraps around the ceiling, glossy surfaces reflect light throughout the cabin, and the entire interior instantly feels larger than it actually is. If you showed this interior to someone without the exterior shots, they'd probably think it belonged inside a $300,000 luxury motorhome. That's how dramatic the transformation feels. And what's really interesting is that there appear to be two completely different interior themes shown throughout these images. The first version feels more realistic and production-ready. You get darker wood accents, soft lighting, modern finishes, and a warm atmosphere that actually feels comfortable for everyday travel. But then there's the second version, and this one completely changes the personality of the camper. The red two-tone interior feels bold, futuristic, and almost unreal. Gloss red cabinetry, sculpted ambient lighting, black leather finishes, and premium surfaces make it feel more like a futuristic private jet lounge than a compact RV. And somehow, all of this still fits inside a relatively small Toyota-based platform. That's the part that genuinely feels hard to believe. Now here's where things get even more impressive. The kitchen setup might actually be the smartest part of the entire camper, because despite the compact dimensions, this space still includes a modern sink, induction-style cooktop, overhead storage, compact refrigerator, sleek counter space, and integrated lighting throughout the cabin. But the real magic isn't the equipment itself. It's the way the space feels. The reflective materials, smart layout, And lighting designs stop the kitchen from ever feeling cramped. And imagine standing here late at night during a road trip while rain hits the windows outside and soft ambient lighting glows across the interior. That's where this camper becomes emotionally addictive. It makes people imagine a completely different lifestyle: freedom, adventure, travel, the ability to wake up somewhere completely different every single morning. Now, directly across from the kitchen is the dining and lounge area. And once again, smart design transforms the experience. The seating setup is compact, but still comfortable enough for eating, relaxing, or even working remotely while traveling. Large windows surround the cabin, flooding the interior with natural light and preventing the space from ever feeling claustrophobic. Despite being a compact RV, nothing feels cluttered, and that's incredibly difficult to achieve in smaller campers. Now let's move to one of the most important sections of any RV, the sleeping area. Because this is usually where compact campers start feeling cramped. But somehow, the overcab bedroom in this Toyota setup still looks genuinely comfortable. You get large side windows, soft ambient lighting, and enough room for a real sleeping setup instead of a tiny emergency bed squeezed into the roof. And imagine waking up here early in the morning with mountain views outside both windows while sunlight slowly fills the cabin. That's the kind of experience people dream about when they imagine RV life, and this tiny camper captures that feeling extremely well. Now, underneath all this luxury, there's still real truck capability. If this camper were based on a modern Toyota Tundra-style platform, it would likely produce around 389 horsepower and nearly 480 pound-feet of torque, paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission and 4-wheel drive. That's more than enough power for mountain driving, long-distance road trips, and carrying the additional camper weight comfortably. Fuel economy still wouldn't be amazing. A luxury camper this size would probably average somewhere around 9 to 12 miles per gallon, depending on terrain and total weight. But realistically, buyers looking at something like this care far more about the experience than fuel savings. Even the bathroom setup looks surprisingly modern for such a compact layout. It appears to include a wet bath shower, compact toilet, illuminated mirror, sink area, roof ventilation, and smart storage sections. Again, not massive, but incredibly efficient for the overall size. And honestly, that's the theme of this entire camper. Smart space usage everywhere, nothing wasted, every inch designed with purpose. But now comes the part that would probably shock most people: the price. Because judging purely by the luxury interior alone, some viewers would probably expect this thing to cost $500,000. But realistically, based on the estimated size, platform, and features, this Toyota RV would likely land somewhere between $90,000 and around $180,000, depending on the final configuration. Still expensive? Absolutely. But compared to massive luxury RVs costing several $100,000 more, this compact camper suddenly starts making a lot of sense. Because at the end of the day, this isn't really just about transportation. It's about freedom. The freedom to travel anywhere, wake up anywhere, and carry your entire luxury setup with you wherever you go.